Woo! Behind the Book Live. Another episode here. It's the holiday edition here. And I'm here with my man, JK. I'm just going to call him the wizard, man. He is the real deal here. And JK, I got to ask you real quick, man. Hawaii, you just got back.
I just got back from Maui. We were there for 7 days, and the weather was perfect every day. And I didn't see any sharks in the ocean, but
Oh,
I thought of
man.
you when I was there.
That's awesome, man. But I tell you what, we're so excited for you to be on the show today. And I mean, I tell you what, AI, it's everywhere. And that's why I want to bring you on the show. This book here, seriously. And you know what? I got to tell everybody, the shark doesn't read a lot, but when he does read, he gets deep dive in. This AI talent sourcing book, I'm going to tell you, JK, and I told you offline, I'm going to tell everybody right now, this book here goes detail to detail, elementary all the way up to like PhD. So it's like, if you read this over and over again, production's going to happen, my man. I'm telling you.
Well, I appreciate that too. And kind of the backstory on that was it took me about 6 months. I got beta access to ChatGPT 3.5 in December. And really, what I did is I just kind of played around with the tool. I would ask it questions, pose questions, and then from there, I would just save all the responses. And and that's how the book was kind of launched. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got
Mm-hmm.
so many good examples here,
Oh,
prompt examples, and people can definitely benefit from using this as a sourcing outreach tool too as well.
so what made you? I mean, you have over 24 books, right? Am I?
Yeah,
I mean, this
it's
is
been a
seriously. Do you have any time for your family? It's like, are
I,
you always thinking and writing at nighttime?
yeah, it started during COVID years where at night my gym closed and I had so much free time and I just didn't want to watch TV all night. And yeah, it started as a hobby, and it kind of dawned on me when I was kind of doing my own research on different topics
Mm-hmm.
like diversity sourcing or top talent sourcing tools or outreach. There really wasn't a lot of books tailored to sourcers, recruiters available online too. There's a few that are out there, but there's just so many kind of niche topics that nobody's talked about. So I'm like, you know what? I should do this. I've got so much knowledge to share,
Oh yeah.
and that's where it started from too. So I just kept writing, and now it's become just a great hobby of
Well,
mine.
we know in the industry that ChatGPT, that word goes so far that most people that does courses and stuff, I mean, we got to call them out. It's very basic. It's
Yeah.
like, put it in there, put a couple keywords in. Dude, you're deep diving way to the bottom of the ocean for this. And and we're going to jump into this because right off, chapter one was like the AI revolution. And that's something I really want to talk about because so many people that I see on my side, the recruiting, staffing side, are still fearful of this, the chat GPT, the bards. Can you dive into this, the generative AI and what's going on?
Yeah, we are definitely in a golden age of AI. There's just so much happening. AI as a whole, it's been around for many years, but it's as of this year, it's been released out publicly, and
Mm-hmm.
people are taking advantage. Many different industries, so it's every industry that you can kind of think of as being impacted by AI, generative AI. Um, Sort of tools too, so sales, marketing, recruiting, HR, and I know recruiting falls into HR, and with security compliance, a lot of people get concerned about that, right? Like, how can I have these tools? Can I use these tools?
Yeah.
Um, it's good to call out that all these tools are open source tools. So whatever you post or ask a generative tool like a prompt, it's out there live forever. So it's good to mention that, and um, don't share any confidential information, any proprietary information, any sales projections, all that data. Don't share that within these tools. But
No way.
yeah, but regards to just like using it for external resources like outreach, or how can I engage this person more effectively, or how can I create a
Mm-hmm.
Boolean search string, or data intelligence, you can definitely use this type of tool. So, for sourcers, I've talked to so many sourcers, and either like their company is afraid to use it, or they're using it, but they're pretty cautious of kind of the effects and how they're using it too. So, so there's two extremes, I would say, in regards to that. But we are definitely in the age of AI. It's here to stay. So it makes sense for people just to kind of learn about it and
Yeah.
kind of understand it, and then recognize the benefits in the future too as well.
So JK, I got to ask you. So, and I got to call you JK. I don't care. Hope you
JK,
care.
appreciate that. Yeah.
It sounds, the whiz, JK. So there's so many other out there. There's ChatGPT, there's Bard. I mean, there's so many different recommendations. You can't use them all.
Yeah.
What do you recommend? I know in your book you mentioned a couple, Bing AI. What do you recommend? Like, say somebody jumping into this. I mean, everybody's using ChatGPT. Is there any other ones that they should subsidize with?
There's so many now, and it's just exploding, right? I would say start with ChatGPT, 3.5. It's free to use. There is kind of a token system with
Okay.
that, but just kind of experiment with it. Start there. I would say it's a little bit more robotic too. It sounds, you can kind of tell when it kind of creates a prompt. There's others now that help with the content, or I'd say Google Bard is one where it just sounds better. The flow is better. There's many other instances where you can just kind of tell the content and what they're giving back to you isn't the best too. But I would say if you are just brand new to this arena, start with ChatGPT and then kind of expand from there too. So there's so many other ones that are coming and getting released that
Oh,
are more updates and more features, and it sounds better. But start with ChatGPT, see how you can kind of implement that. If you're into sales or outreach, start there, and then expand from there. Keep experimenting too as you go along.
gotcha. And most of these are free. Am I correct?
Yeah, yep, they are free. It's freemium. So kind of what that means is that hey, you create a license, you sign up on their page, and
Hmm.
they give you a certain amount of like tokens. Hey, you can do a couple searches, couple prompt searches, questions, and then they kind of max you out too. So they kind of hook you, and they give you the results, and then you're like, oh my gosh, here's my credit card.
It's like skee
Is what?
ball. You'll get them
Yeah.
tickets and them tokens, and then it's
You're
like
like, come on,
pay
baby,
more.
you're rolling.
Like Mike Tyson mighty blow, punch out, punch out. And then it's like, okay, we need more tokens.
Exactly. It's kind of that kind of thing. And most sourcing software companies are like that too. They give you
Hmm.
free access for a while and then they start charging you. I would say if you're only doing it a few times a week, then you could kind of stick with that free license. But
Okay.
even for me, I soon realized once I was kind of giving it prompt questions that within like an hour I'm getting maxed out and it's saying sorry, you're maxed out within your prompts. So yeah.
So on the talent sourcing side, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know how to use that to the sourcing capabilities. And I'm sure you see that when you train people and stuff like that in your courses. Can you give them any tips? I know in the book you talk about that in detail, but since we don't have the book in front of us yet for people to buy later on, I mean, what do they do? I mean, a lot of people just put a couple of keywords in and they say they don't get the right result. What do you recommend?
Right. I would say for sourcing wise, you could use it a number of different ways. You could have it generate Boolean search strings too.
Okay.
Um, but also, there's a lot of external facing tools. So there's one called you.com. And basically,
Ooh,
it's kind of a search engine plus AI tool. And you could say, hey, help me find software engineers in the Bay Area at this company. And then within seconds, it will generate a list of profiles, and it's almost like a search engine combined with an AI, like I said, and it produces some good results that way. And there's other ones too that are coming out. People GPT is another tool where you can pose a prompt, say, "Hey, I'm looking for front end engineers in Minnesota that work at this company. Create a list," and then it will automatically create a list. And then from there, you can say, okay, create a personalized message for each of
man.
these individual people, and then it will automatically do that. So it's just amazing what we can do. So I would say the future of sourcing is going to be more automated, but we need to kind of be, hesitant to use it fully for that because I feel like
Mhm.
if it's not personalized in any way and it's all AI automated, I think people are going to see that, they're going to recognize that, and they're going to ignore your outreach messages too. So
100%. I always say that it's never going to take the recruiter away. You got to embrace this. But at the end of the day, I always joke artificial intelligence, and then you have actual interaction. That's the other AI.
yes.
I mean, seriously, you have to have a human connection no matter what.
And I would say it comes down to this, even from my experience working with customer service, like if I would call, hey, my internet's down and I call a company like, hey, you're dialing zero until you get to someone on the phone where you can actually talk to them. Because a lot of
Mhm.
things now are automated. And I feel like people are moving towards that, where they do want that connection with a human being. They want to have that relationship, that they want to talk to someone too. So I feel like these tools will help, automate mundane, time wasting things for us. But at the end of the day, it's all about the human connection, the touch of that. And I feel like
It
recruiters
is.
are going to be more valued with that, because when you think about it, finding a job, securing a job, that's like your top 2, 3 things in your life, right?
Oh my
Getting
God.
married,
Yeah.
having a house, and then having a job. And I feel like,
You're talking about
you know,
JK. Did you say get
yeah.
married? Get
Oh yeah,
married?
get married and having a family, all those things. That's like the top 3. Yeah.
Dude, I've never been married,
Come
man.
on,
So does that
baby.
never been married? So I don't know.
Right? You're still in the ocean, man. You're still fighting the waves. I appreciate
That's
that.
right. But all joking aside, you're right
Yeah.
on that. I mean, the job, we don't understand that, but I think a lot of recruiters and sorcerers out there have to realize that, when we're dealing with somebody's livelihood, when we
Yeah.
talk about the job, I mean, that if we don't steer them in the right way or give 100%, that could, I hate to say, screw up their life forever,
Yeah. And I've been reading on chat forums like Reddit and then Discord about how people have been applying for jobs and they receive an automated message and, hey, can you record this video? Or it's an automated AI kind of like
Hmm.
ask these questions before you can talk to someone. And a lot of people are mad. They're not liking that. They're treating it as a negative thing too. So companies need to realize that too, like using AI for everything, that might not be good too at the same time, because people do value the personal touch. It's not fully automated. You're not just a number too. So people want to feel appreciated too. But I feel like you could use it in a way where you can kind of personalize some things and then also have that human connection too at the same
Exactly.
time.
I think
Yeah.
AI just sets us up for the spike like volleyball. Seriously, it does. It
Yeah.
gives us all the tools. And then at the end of the day, you just pick up the phone and close the deal.
Exactly. Smile and dial too.
You know it, brother. So chatbots. We got to talk about chatbots real quick. What's your take on that? I know I read in the book a little bit about that. I mean, we're evolving so quickly that voice AI is taking over now, and the chatbot's kind of like fading away. What do you see on your side with the chatbot in the future?
I would say it's good and bad. Like I said earlier, too, I think a lot of companies are putting it on their careers page. And
Hmm.
a lot of people, when I was at my previous company, we would track all the traffic to the page and we would get so many people to click on the job descriptions, but they would never apply. So then at the time, we're like, oh, we should have a join a talent community or something, try to like grab their information. And I feel like it's the same thing with a chat bot where you can put that on there and try to answer their questions. And it's good and bad. I'm sure they will have data to kind of prove like, hey, because of a chat bot, you 10% increase in the amount of people applying for your position, or even higher than that. But um, it is just a small substitute. It's not like a main amazing thing. But
Hmm.
I don't know. What have you heard, or what's your experience kind of on that too at the same time?
On the candidate side, I'm telling you, the voice AI, I'm into that. I think that voice AI
Really?
for 15 minutes, you can scrub your database, but the voice AI now, the way it is, there's Converse AI. Just give them a plug right there. Good friends of mine, but it's called Jamie. It can talk for 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, this is pretty damn close to, I mean, it can like giggle almost to a point where it's pretty wild. It's kind of like
Wow.
that futuristic Terminator kind of stuff. But I think the chatbot, we are so hyper deficit these days. We're scrolling our phone all the time at the airport. We got to pick our phone up. How many times a day? Is it over like 1,000? Seriously. I mean,
Thousand
it's like,
times a day. Yeah.
yeah, I even pick mine up at the gym, JK, and I never used to. I'm between sets. I'm like, put the damn phone away in the locker. It's like, but it's like a habit. It's like almost like having a cigarette or alcohol. It's like, you just got to scroll no matter what. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people these days don't want to type stuff in the chat bot. They want that voice activated where it can be quick. I
Oh
think we're going to
yeah.
be, the onboarding is so quick these days. We want good people. We want to get them good jobs, but that onboarding process, and you probably agree on this, is going to be so fast now. I mean, they want a result now. They want us to
Right.
talk back to them now. We can't wait 2 weeks to get a job.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. People will definitely value that and benefit from it too at the same time.
So now I got to talk about this. And you know what? I throw everything out there. Congress, I seen that in your book there. What is your take on that with AI and what's going on with the government? We don't want to deep dive in too much about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You
still in
know,
the works, right? I mean, they're
it is.
still on the table
There,
for that.
Exactly. They're still kind of thinking of it. I know there's a couple different states that are now enacting AI legislation. So in New York, you can't use it to rank profiles with AI too. So like with applications, you can't use it to skill rank people. So I think we'll see more of that in the future. I think they just don't know what will happen with AI. So we're kind of in
Mhm.
a weird Wild West stage, right? We just don't know what will change or what will happen with AI and all these integration tools. But I would say in the future, I'm sure there'll be more legislation on that and how can we use it? How can we engage it? Um, I wouldn't be surprised too, because I know there's so many HR compliance laws already in the books. So it might be dependent on the different states that you're working in, but I wouldn't be surprised if more laws come at the same time.
Exactly. And I think,
Yeah.
diversity and inclusion coming into that. And I know that AI is, they say, kind of biased now with that, but I think down the road, the more we progress, it's probably going to be better than the human because I'm going to tell you, JK, we're all biased. I don't care what we
Yeah.
say, we are. I mean, it's like it is. We try not to be, but everybody can judge somebody on something. We are judgmental people. I mean, that's just how we are, humans.
Exactly. And then as sorcerers, you kind of are too, because you have the intake with your hiring manager and you really assess, okay, I need this right
Hmm.
number of years of experience at this type of university or have this type of bachelor's degree. And in a way, you are kind of doing this to your funnel. You're kind of weeding out people. And maybe there'll be AI where it can do that more efficiently and better with a non-bias, you know, thing to that. We'll have to see too at the same time.
All I can say is never judge a person by the cover. Seriously, and we got a joke about that, but we do sometimes. You might judge somebody on what they came in, their clothing, attire, or something like that, and then you know what? You give them a shot; they're the best person. You never know,
Exactly.
man. I always say give everybody the benefit of the doubt till the end.
Exactly.
So, okay, so ChatGPT 4, we talked about that. Give us a little detail about that because is that the most updated one, or what are we on now?
That's the most updated one too. I recommend if you do get to that level, get the premium license. It's $20 a month. It's pretty useful.
Okay.
You get the unlimited amount of searches too, and yeah, it's beneficial. I would say if you're a source or recruiter, there's so many different categories you can kind of use it for. So,
Hmm.
sales, outreach, Boolean strings, searching for intelligence, data, all that
Nice.
information. It's just a more updated, optimized version of like Google. It kind of gives you the results back. It answers your questions back. It's fantastic too. So I would say definitely, explore it, look at it. Within my book, I talk over different categories and I give around 500 different examples of how
Yeah,
you
you
can use it
do.
in your day to day too. So it's pretty in depth of what you can do. It's mind boggling too at the same time.
I got to tell you, with this book go, I got to get a hard copy. Seriously, man. Maybe you can send me one or something. Seriously,
You
because
got
you
it.
have
Yeah.
to almost yellow highlight it. I feel like I'm in college again because the the one on the computer is great, but this is one you want to have like in your hand, right beside when you're typing stuff in, the highlight stuff to give you tips. One thing I do want to talk about is sales. I think this is something we overlook all the time, JK, is
Yeah.
with AI and sales. We talk about the recruiting part. We very much, and you probably agree on this, we brush by sales so quickly with the AI and we don't deep dive into it. What are you seeing, or any tips or strategies for 2024 and some of the stuff that's in your book about how to get to the next level with sales with AI?
Yeah, I would say outreach is so important within sales. There's a couple tools where you can use AI to plug in someone's LinkedIn profile, and it will spin out. It'll tell you kind of their personality type. Like this person is very direct. This person wants, some time. Is very very passive, or just kind of their personality level. So there's AI integration within personality types. So they can use that within sales to kind of your outreach. You can kind of tailor a sales approach that way. But I would say for AI, I would use it for just outreach in general too. So there's two main ones that I really love, Harpa AI and Merlin AI.
Oh, nice, Merlin. I like that.
Fant- Merlin, yeah, Harpa is fantastic, and it's a freemium extension. You could download it in the
Gotcha.
Google Chrome store. You could sync up. Um, ChatGPT within the tool, and then you could go to any page, but I always just go to LinkedIn, and you could go to someone's LinkedIn profile, and it's going to analyze everything on that profile. And then you could say, hey, can you write a message to this person about doing a sales pitch on these types of roles? So then you
Oh,
could go to like a
nice.
hiring manager's page and be like, hey, I've got this qualified lead with this amount of experience. I know what your project is, this, and so you can kind of really tailor your outreach messages that way. Again, play around with it, because it's going to give you kind of the end result, but look at it, read it a few times, because you might have to do some editing too, because you start to kind of see that if you read non-personalized messages. I'm getting a lot of a lot of mass emails where you can just kind of
Oh,
tell they put in my name, and just they use maybe an AI tool, and they sent me a message,
yes.
and you're like, this is just nothing is related to me. It's not relevant to me. So really, you have to ask yourself, is the message direct? Is it relevant? Does it
Hmm.
address kind of what you want to say to that person? And does it answer the why? Like, why are you reaching out? And at the end, of course, like a call to action within your sales is going to be very vital too. So yeah, so I would say for just sales, outreach, marketing, you can use AI for so many different things. And I think it's going to change, the future of our industry, of all industries too, when you think about it too at the same time.
Oh yeah, we're all going to be super geniuses now. You know what I mean? We're all going to have the
Right.
same
We're done.
AI sales platform. It's going to be like five staffing firms are going to send the same message out. They're going to the company's going to say, "What the hell? Y'all got the same big words." And you know what's funny is I used it a couple of times, and some of the big words. If I'm in West Virginia or Pennsylvania, there's some of it are a little bit of manufacturing. I call it like joke with the Rust Belt. They don't use them big words. You got to pull them things out. You got to relate to the area you're
Yeah.
in, and
Yeah.
that's a
And
killer sometimes.
and even for me being working in internal talent acquisition, I would say I get a lot of agencies to kind of send me messages, and the ones that are personalized, or like, hey, one in particular would send me like Christmas cookies or some sort of
Hmm.
gift. I'm always, oh my gosh, I'm like always on the hook for that kind of stuff too. So there's just creative ways that you can kind of do to kind of target your niche and send some things their way. And yeah, it's wild too.
I think the biggest thing, and we got to talk about this, AI and spamming. You can't spam in AI. I mean, I don't know about you, but LinkedIn has became, and I think Facebook, but
Yeah.
LinkedIn right now, it's becoming, they talk a little bit about you. They don't even know what you do. They're like, hey, I can generate leads. I'm like, that's what I do for companies around the country. Do you ever read? And then there's that famous link. It says link up. Did you ever get that over and over, the same message over and over? And you could tell it's AI generated.
Yeah, and even sometimes I pause my inbox now, just because of the amount of
Hmm.
messages. I think salespeople do like that. Hey, it gets delivered to your inbox. They're gonna see it. I'm gonna see it on LinkedIn. But for me, at the same time, I get so many. I get
Yeah.
hundreds, and I haven't. Maybe I should go through during the holiday break, is look through each one and kind of respond back. But at the same time, I'm sure a lot of people get so many that it's just they're inundated, right? They don't have the time to go through them all, and yeah, it's spammy. It's not being direct with people. Um, yeah.
Is there anything coming out with AI that's going to stop the spam? Is there anything coming out you think in the future that we can look forward to?
I'm sure there's different types of like AI integration within your Outlook email, within your Gmail email, where it will rank kind of the emails that you're receiving. And I'm sure it's going to
Hmm.
analyze based on an algorithm. Okay, here's your top ones, and kind of prioritize different ones. For me, I use Streak for Gmail at the time, and it helped me
Okay.
kind of put different sales funnels, like different. Okay, this person here in different kind of folders. So then anytime they would send a message, it would go to kind of different folders too. So there's ways to kind of like rank that and figure out, okay, like, is this just spam, or do I really want to contact this person back? So I think there'll be more things like that. Another factor too, I would say, for just kind of sending out messages through email is email deliverability. That is a huge thing that people
Mm.
overlook too. So if your email domain gets marked as spam, eventually
Yes.
your emails are just going to go right to spam over and over. I got another book I talk about just outreach, and I would say just doing the numbers, about 45% of your messages do get sent to kind of spam or junk folders. So if you are mass mailing people over and over and over, eventually your email is going to get marked as
Ooh.
spam
Yep.
too. So it's good to track that, rank that, make sure you're tracking that, and then kind of also there's different tools where you can see if your emails are being sent to spam too at the same time. So
Simple. Do not spam unless you live in Hawaii, right? Because spam's great over
spam,
there.
exactly.
Do you have any spam where you're over there, JK? Did you have any?
I did for breakfast. We had kind of like a spam slice
Look at
with some
you.
scrambled eggs, and yeah, it's huge. It was huge there. So
Yeah, it is. So now, okay, so I got to ask you, what chapter in your book there, because of course it's behind the story, that took you a lot more, like, was there any chapters that was deep thought that you had to go back and say, you know what, I got to rewrite this a little bit different?
yeah, I would say I focus on tools, and for
Mm.
me, I wrote the book out. I wrote all the prompt categories, the different chapters, but then the tool section. Um, at the time I published it, and then for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, it felt like every 2 weeks there was a new tool coming out that was better and better
Mhm.
and better. And we're still in that phase, right, where there's so many new tools coming and changing, and give it a year to 2 years. My book will be out of date too, unfortunately, too. So it's writing a tech book or industry focused book, things will get out of date pretty quickly, which is kind of a bummer to say. But there's just so many new tools that are coming and changing, and give it a decade from now, it's going to be just a
Oh,
wild ride, right? Where we'll look back and be like, just we were at the iceberg of just all the different things coming within
it,
the
it,
industry
it
too.
is so true. And ChatGPT's
Yeah,
been around for what? Just barely a year, right?
yeah,
Maybe
just a
15
year.
months. Is that
Yeah,
crazy? Seriously, 15 months ago, we didn't even talk about that keyword. It was like tech stack and other different things. Now it's like that famous word is like, and then it just took off from there. Everything's AI these days. I mean, every job board's AI, everything. But when you really think of it, JK, even everything's AI. I mean, every platform that I love to sit on, Facebook, that's all AI generated.
yeah. It's wild too. And even I would say for us in our industry, keep learning, attend podcasts, video streams, webinars,
Yes.
read books, because I feel like in our industry, you need to keep constantly learning
Mhm.
too, because if you don't, you'll be kind of left behind too. And when you think about it, your competitors are using these types of tools. So if you are not, you're losing out on the best talent too at the same time.
100%. And if you're a staffing firm and you're still reading paper resumes, throw that away. You got to change. I mean, and I think really at the end of the day, we say all this
Yeah.
stuff is free, but don't you agree that you should invest some money in AI and purchase some of the upgrades?
Exactly. First, experiment with it, play around with it, and then really, it's kind of like if you find a new tool, demo it, use it for a while. If you see the benefits from it, if
Mhm.
there's a return on your investment, then invest in it too. Because I feel like there's so many new tools coming and going too. Play around with it. If it's useful, then purchase it too at the same time. So,
Good
yeah,
stuff. Okay, so at the end of your book, you talked about the future in 2023 and of course 2024. So the upskilling and reskilling people. I mean, I love that part. The college degree, and we got to talk about that because me being in light industrial, I enforce that all the time, dude. If you can get a trade, you'll be debt free. What is your take on that? I know you put a little bit in the book at the end to give us like a
yeah.
teaser to the next level. So give
You
us your
know,
scoop on
it's
it.
like it's like that show Black Mirror, right? Where it's like the
Yeah.
future of like, oh my God, like what will
Ooh.
change? And I feel like with degrees, we are morphing towards the not needing a 4-year degree too. I would say
Mhm.
it's going to the trades, or maybe you go to kind of a community college setup where it's a 2-year degree and you're off and going too. Because millennials, my generation, and even previous generations, we got all that debt, right? We got the 4 years of debt and paying
Oh,
for a bachelor's degree. And like in your career, it's like you go to high school, you graduate, and then everyone's like, you got to get your bachelor's. And then boom, you got, I don't know. I know of some people that have 80, $90,000
oh,
worth of
six
debt,
figures easy.
too,
Yeah.
of debt. And you're like, is that the world that we live in where you have to,
Well, you got the
in
guy
order
that
to get a
does
career?
HVAC, and he's got a brand new Corvette at 24, and he's sitting there debt free and has his own business. I'm thinking, which way did I go? And what's funny
Yeah.
is we're both in staffing recruiting. This wasn't part of our major, man. You know what I mean?
No.
I got a crim degree. What do you have?
Communications marketing. So kind of
Oh,
I
okay,
wanted to talk to
little bit.
people. kind of, and then I just fell into it too at the same time. So that is so true. Recruiting does not require a degree, too. So it's just, um, Gen Z and younger. I would say you don't need to get a college degree in the future. I would
100%.
say, yeah,
I
there's no
seriously, I
need.
think we should have a recruiting degree. Do you agree? I seriously think we
Yeah.
need an associate. You ready to start one? We can have our own
Boom.
school. But
Shark
boom.
University.
You know what? Even now, do they have any AI? I mean, I haven't been up to date. Like classes, are they AI classes in the colleges now, universities? Are they
I'm
having like,
sure there's still, it's machine learning, kind of that
yeah,
ML, AI, kind of computer science. I'm sure they're kind of changing as we speak too. So I'm sure there'll be more of that in the future too.
so what do you think of the reskilling for like I call it the mature population? We have, we talk about the Gen Zs out there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, they're not lazy. They're freaking awesome. They still want the human connection,
They want to
even though
work.
they're on their phone all day. They want that fist pump. They want that handshake because I see it all the
Yeah.
time, dude. They're bracing me. I was at Toys for Tots yesterday, and these Gen Zs are working. We volunteer. Dan, they're giving me fist pumps and hugs more than the people my age. So that
Yeah.
that thing about that Gen Z stuff of being lazy is totally garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that too. I think people want to work. They want to have a career.
Mhm.
Yeah. People want to work.
So, what about the mature population with AI and reskilling them for different positions? What do you
I
see?
would,
You see that in 2024
yes.
happening a lot?
I would say yes, and there's so many different, Udemy, or there's LinkedIn University. There's so many different ones where there's so many online free resources, schools, webinars that you can kind of take too. And I would say, even for me, I'm overwhelmed by just all this new technology, and I'm millennial, of course, myself, but I'm like, there's so much to learn. So I would say, in your mind, continuous learning. Once you finish your degree and you're professional in the world,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you stop. It means you got to get to the next level, and you need to be going out there reading books like this one or other ones, podcasts. There's so many ways to kind of learn and stay updated too, because like I said earlier, it's your competitors are going to be using this in the future and onwards. So you got to use it. You got to utilize it in your day to day, and you'll definitely benefit it at the same time.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah,
one thing I tell recruiters, and you probably agree on this again, is that you got to show your face over and over again. The recruiters that don't like try to hide behind it and don't want to show their
yeah,
face, and they're like, well, I got my private Facebook. And dude, we're in the public 24/7. The shark's out there. You Google me, I'm everywhere. My business and my personal life is me all together, And I think in the day
exactly.
and age, people's going to Google you. And if they're going to trust you, they always say, how do you build trust? Well, they want to see you smiling. They want to see you. If you're shaking a million people's hands and you're giving hugs, they can trust you right there with the pictures alone.
Exactly. And it is building that personal brand, because maybe you're at this company, but in the future you might jump to another company, but you're in the same industry. It makes sense to have a personal brand on social media,
100%.
online. Go where your people are going to. So sometimes people are on Facebook, or Discord, or Reddit, or whatever tech or niche that you're in, whatever industry. Build that profile out and share valuable content, engage people, be human too at the same time,
Yes.
and and add value constantly too. So I would say that helps within sales, it helps within your outreach,
Hmm.
it helps with getting networking, referrals. People will come to you, right? They come to you now as the expert in your industry, and you're kind of building that funnel at the same time, because you have that brand, you have that image online too. So it's all important too at the same time.
100%. So, okay. So I got to ask you this real quick. How did you come up with the wizard source? Everybody wants to know. Everybody knows what
Yeah,
the shark came
you
about.
know,
So how'd the whiz come out? No.
I worked at a staffing agency, and at the time they're
Mhm.
like, "The wizard, you're
The
the
wizard.
wizard. You're come to the wizard," because I had all this new technology, and at the time it was all about new extension tools,
Yeah.
Hire Virtual, Connectifier, all those new ones were kind of launching at the time, and I'm like, "Hey guys, we can use all these extensions and tools," and my team just kind of nicknamed me the wizard, because I would come with all these ideas,
Ooh, the whiz.
the creativity, and from there I'm like, I need to write a blog too, because it came back. I wanted to create my own personal brand, because I felt like, hey, I'm at this current company, they know me here, but externally people don't know my name, they don't know who I am.
Bingo.
Bingo. So I'm like, I need to create a personal brand. What should I name myself? Okay, Wizard Sorcerer, Jonathan Kidder. And then from there, I created the blog in 2015, and I would just create
Yeah.
content over and over and over, videos, picture, blog posts, whatever I wanted to put out there. And it helped a lot to kind of create an image. So now I have people come to me with opportunities like, hey, we're looking for a sorcerer, Wizard Sorcerer. You want to join our team? And that's kind of where it came from too at the same time.
The Whiz. So if you get a chance this Christmas, eat some Cheese Whiz and think of the Whiz, right? Cheese Whiz all the time, buddy.
Yeah,
You know I'm going to get someone to do a promo with that with your picture on it. The Cheese Whiz.
Exactly. Boom.
He doesn't get cheesy; he gets it done. But no, that's funny you said that because,
Yeah.
of course, I got my gig going on here, Brandy. That I really think that both of us, how you brand your name is, but nobody cares about Jonathan or Richard. They care about the Whiz and the Shark. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it's funny, comical. And I got to tell you, at the end of the day, staffing's got to be fun. If you have fun with it, your candidates have fun, your clients, that's what it's about, And
Yeah.
I think we're in that AI part now where everything's going to be fun next year. I mean, we've already dealt with that 2.5 years ago. We won't talk about that deal, but I think people now just want to have fun.
Exactly. And you're passionate about your industry. It shows too online, and people engage with that. They want to have that same passion and creativity. And yeah,
Yeah, so look at that. We got to shout out to Tori here.
here we go. Woo!
Oh, she's a Longhorn fan, so look out.
Let's go.
Horns. but no. So okay. So before we wrap things up, give us 3 AI tools that you should use in 2024, a must, and not the ChatGPT. I mean, something else that you think that they can write down, maybe take some good tips.
Yeah, I would say number 1, Party Rock. It's kind of a new
Dude,
tool where
really Party Rock.
Yeah, Party Rock. It's kind of a
like
cool
that
name.
one song, right? Party Rock.
Party Rock. Basically, it's an AI platform where you can create your own AI tools without having any coding or having that tech knowledge. So a lot of sources are kind of creating their own tools for free, of course, within that platform.
Okay.
So it's powered by AWS. It's fantastic. I definitely recommend it. If you go to my blog, wizardsorcerer.com, I kind of did a quick summary of the tool and its benefits. And there's a couple people in the industry they're already creating kind of cool, unique tools using AI too. So like, how cool is that?
Dude, when you said Party Rock, I have to sign up for that. I mean, come on. No, that's seriously, that's a great name-o. There we go again. Branding yourself, Party Rock. It's not something basic. It's something that's going to be catchy.
Yep, exactly. Second one is you.com. Like I said earlier, it's a search engine plus AI. It's free to use. You just tell it, hey, I want to find software engineers in the Bay Area at this company, and it just gives you the profiles for free. There is no token system. It's free to use. It's a great tool. It's a great search engine too. So it's like Google plus AI combined, and it's useful too at the same time.
All right, and one more. You got one more for
us?
All
right, I got one more. I got
Santa Claus in a bag. Come on, mother.
Harpa and Merlin. Those two are kind of.
Ooh, okay.
Those are outreach extension tools. They combine AI. And then they also help with like generating outreach messages on LinkedIn or on any website. You can just tell it, create a prompt, hey, write a message to this person on this opportunity. And then it scrapes that page, whatever page you're on, and then it gives you that response back, that prompt back too. So those are kind of my top 3. So I would say, but again, ask me in like 3 months from now, it's probably going to be all different. So.
Well, brother, I got to throw this up there, man. Where can they find you at, man? I mean, they can find you anywhere. Look at the Whiz. Look at you.
WizardSorcerer.com. Right? SourceCon. I presented at SourceCon in the fall and had a great experience. I talked about AI tools primarily, and I really focused on my AI talent sourcing book too. So, but yeah, you could find me on WizardSorcerer.com, and I continue to kind of blog on that site and add value to it at the same time.
And you know what? People loves this book. Look at this. Here we
yes.
go. Look at this, man. Even a dog is saying, shout out, Husky time.
Let's go.
But no, this book, I tell you what, Jonathan, I read it. You know what? And I'm definitely going to get the hard copy, man. I would love to have you back, dude. I'm going to throw this out there. Yes. If you'd like to come back and do a series with me with your books, man, because you are the guru, man. And we need somebody in the industry like yourself, man, that, I mean, just chat with you offline a couple of weeks ago. Only known you for what, 60 days now or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, all joking aside, you have so much good information to give people and you break it down very simplified. And that's what we all need in the industry. We just can't be thrown with this ChatGPT course and say, go to it.
Yeah.
You break it down for them to be successful, man.
I appreciate that too. Thank you.
Sounds good, brother. Well, that's a wrap. Behind the Book with JK. All right, brother.
Dark.
Keep out there and keep the AI rocking, man. Deep dive it in, buddy, and I'll see you soon, man.